Currently today, even with the little bit of infrastructure that we have, we feed 500 families a week from the stuff that we grow here, as well as from partnerships with 10 underserved farmers that are regionally local to Richmond. So we work with them to bring in food, pack it, and get it out to food deserts right here in Richmond. So our vision is to build out this space. We started with 3 acres. We just purchased the land next door to add 2 additional acres and build out this space so that people from this community who have a passion for growing can learn how to grow the food, the healthy food that our community needs.
Hi, everyone. February is Black History Month, and it's an honor for me to have a conversation today with one of our very valuable state board members, Doria Robinson from Richmond, California. I've always been a fan of yours since the first time I met you and heard about the work that you're doing in urban agriculture. That's been over 10 years ago. And you've done a lot since that time, but you also have a wonderful family history. You're 3rd generation in California. Yeah. And so I just want to have a little conversation with you today about how you got into agriculture. You've been a real leader in organic and regenerative agriculture, community-supported agriculture. And I have to make a note, not only is she a wonderful contributor to the agricultural community with what she's doing in ag, but she also was recently elected to the Richmond City Council. Yeah. That's a gargantuan job. So I'm really excited to have this conversation with you, Doria. And I just wanted to start with, tell us your story. Tell us a little bit about you, who you are, your family, and how you came to this spot now.
Yeah. It's funny. I think about this a lot these days. So, I grew up in Richmond, which is this very kind of urban, suburban town with a refinery and everything. But the whole story is that, I grew up part-time in Richmond and part-time in Fairfield at my grandparents' and our kind of church community's ranch. So, growing up, we, raised hogs and cows and lots of farmland and chickens and whatnot. And over time, I just migrated more and more to just knowing that I was called to grow and that there was a space for growing in it and a real need for growing in urban settings.
But I think it's important for you to talk about Urban Tilth.
Yeah.
Because you hosted the state board a year ago.
Urban Tilth is, in Richmond, for Richmond, this center and gathering place for people who are interested in improving their health, in improving their landscapes and improving their lives, right? It started as this effort to take, some of the things wrong with Richmond. Lots of vacant property that's dumped on, trash property, industrial spaces, no place for healthy food, no jobs or a lot of positive influences for young people, and actually put them all together and make something positive. So Urban Tilth started by transforming vacant lots into gardens and creating jobs for young people to learn how to run those gardens, right? That's very humble beginnings. We did a lot of transforming of space. It's doing a lot of different things. It is transforming space. It's creating new places where people can get healthy food, but it's also reconnecting people to each other and healing some of the kind of just the painful kind of disconnection that people feel in urban settings, right? A lot of the farmers that we work with are formerly farm workers who are starting their own businesses with their families. And for them, programs like ours are like a guaranteed place to sell their produce. For African Americans, of course, our history with this country started as being enslaved to do farming, forced farming. And, for, hundreds of years. And that's a painful thing. And I think a lot of Black people have really hard feelings around being on the land. Unfortunately so, because of this history. There's a lot to be done to kind of take back the positive things in the history and to at once not forget the harm and to move forward, right? So there's that kind of the history of enslavement, But I think I also want to say that, during Black History Month, it's important to say that slavery didn't stop. Like, all the evils of what happened to Black folks around agriculture didn't stop at the end
Right.
of the Civil War. And my hope is that we learn more about each other's history and use a little bit more empathy to understand, and each other's like positions, where we're coming from, and really uplift the contributions that African Americans have made to the history of agriculture in the United States and in California, and continue to make.
Yes.
There's still Black farmers here now today. Yeah.
Well, I loved this conversation with you. I just, as I said at the beginning, I'm a fan, have been for a long time. You just doubled down on that one for me. And I hope that you have many ways of celebrating Black History Month, and we all look for ways to share our stories and to respect the people who have come through this even stronger than ever and are building community.
Yeah.
Thank you for really keeping it about we're all in this together, and we will go much farther if we're all doing it together. Yeah. So thank you, Doria. I really appreciate it. It's so good to see you.